Yes, hi, and thanks for having me. Well, the Qatargate is the largest European Parliament corruption scandal in over 2 decades. It began in December with the arrest of several high-profile personalities, including one of 14 European Parliament vice presidents, Eva Kaili, her partner Francesco Giorgi, who was a parliamentary assistant to Antonio Panzeri first, who was also arrested, and more recently Andrea Cozzolino. These are both MEPs who have been allegedly taking bribes to lobby in favor of the likes of Qatar and Morocco within the European Parliament. And basically, they have been arrested because hundreds of thousands of euro in cash were found at their homes in Brussels, and these were allegedly the bribes that they had been taking from these foreign countries.
So now one of the accused, as you mentioned, Andrea Cozzolino, judges today are going to decide whether he can be taken to a Belgian prison under the European arrest warrant. What is the argument for that to happen?
Well, so his former colleague Panzeri and his former assistant Francesco Giorgi, who were both arrested, as I was mentioning before him, in December, have both accused him. And the accusation is that Cozzolino took over from Panzeri when Panzeri retired from the European Parliament. Cozzolino was also the chair of the Human Rights Committee in the European Parliament in Brussels. And basically, he is allegedly the person who took over from Panzeri in being the face for the officials of Qatar and Morocco and the intermediary with European lawmakers. But Cozzolino's lawyer in Italy says the arrest request and the transfer request is completely vague. There aren't any details as to the bribes that he allegedly took, and therefore Italian judges should reject the transfer request. Of course, these European transfer requests are complicated. These extradition battles, even within the European Union, aren't as smooth as they may seem. And in this case, there have been other transfer requests that did not go through. So we will see, but Cozzolino's lawyers are also saying he is unwell, and so the Italian judges will have to counterbalance different requests and different claims.
Yeah. So, you know, what has the European Union, the European Commission said about these charges? Have they investigated themselves?
No, they haven't really. And I think it is creating a lot of embarrassment at the European level. The political groups sitting within the European Parliament have tried to brush this case off, saying these are just a few rotten apples within the Parliament, and this was not systemic in any way. The European Commission has tried to fight back allegations that actually this corruption might actually have reached the Commission and some people working for the Commission. There is no proof of these accusations, although there were allegations of sorts. So right now, what it looks like is that, you know, the case is limited to a small group of people and to these facts that have so far emerged, and these people are actually working with the Belgian authorities to, you know, explain the whole case and the whole situation. Of course, it's embarrassing, but what we have not gotten to the bottom of is what the end goal of these countries was, because what we know so far is that Qatar wanted to improve its reputation within the European Union and in European countries because of the FIFA World Cup being hosted in Qatar. And of course, Morocco had other interests, including trade and immigration. But at the same time, it is not clear to this point how vast this organization was and how far-reaching these people actually were. And of course, everyone in Brussels is now trying to convince us that it was very limited in scope. So still to be seen how it develops.
Yes, and to your point, it is sort of a little bit puzzling as to what Morocco or Qatar you know, wanted to get from this. Have they had anything to say about what their involvement was at all?
Oh, absolutely. They have vehemently rejected all the accusations. Morocco has said these are deliberate media attacks and just a campaign to ruin diplomatic relations between Morocco and the European Union. Qatar has said they have never paid any European official to improve their reputation or for any other economic gain. So, of course, these countries are rejecting all the accusations, although, of course, we have partial confessions from some of the people involved, including Antonio Panzeri and his former assistant, Francesco Giorgi.
And what has happened to these four? Are they no longer serving in the European Parliament?
So Antonio Panzeri had retired in 2019 and was more recently running an NGO. He is in jail and is now working with authorities, so he might have a reduction in his jail term, whereas Francesco Giorgi is out with an electronic tag. He is back home, and his partner Eva Kaili, the former vice president, is still in jail. So actually, Eva Kaili right now is the only person who remains in jail in Brussels. She has not issued any confession, as opposed to her partner Giorgi and Panzeri, who are actually working with authorities. Whereas Andrea Cozzolino is under house arrest in Naples, and we will have to see later today whether he will be transferred to Belgium.
What a fascinating story to work on. Great to have you explain it all. Thanks, Silvia.
Thank you.